The rain hit the sidewalk like 1,000 tiny hammers. Malik Turner pulled his hood tighter over his head, but it didn't help. Water poured down his face. His shoes squished with every step. His backpack felt like it was filled with rocks. He was 16 years old and so tired. All day, Malik had stacked boxes at Miller's grocery store. Heavy boxes. His arms ached. His back hurt. Mr. Miller had asked him to stay an extra hour, and Malik couldn't say no. His mom needed the money. She always needed the money. Now the sky was dark and angry. Thunder rumbled somewhere far away. The streetlights made yellow circles on the wet ground. People rushed past Malik with umbrellas and raincoats. They didn't look at him. They didn't look at anything except where they were going. That's when Malik saw her. An old woman lay on the sidewalk like a broken doll. She was on her side near the corner of 5th Street. Her gray hair was plastered to her face. Her glasses hung crooked on her nose. One hand reached out toward nothing. The other clutched her leg. People walked around her. They stepped over her. They pretended she wasn't there. Malik stopped. His heart did a strange little jump in his chest. "Ma'am," he called out. His voice felt small against the sound of rain. The woman didn't answer. She just made a sound. A soft sound like a hurt animal. Malik looked around. A man in a business suit walked past, talking on his phone. A woman with shopping bags hurried by, without looking down. A teenager with headphones nearly tripped over the old woman's foot and cursed, but kept walking. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. Malik felt something hot rise in his chest. It wasn't anger exactly. It was something else. Something that said, "This isn't right. This isn't how people should be." He ran to the woman and dropped to his knees. The cold water soaked through his jeans instantly. "Ma'am, are you okay?" Malik asked. He touched her shoulder gently. The woman's eyes opened. They were blue, like the sky on a good day, but they were filled with tears. "I fell," she whispered. Her voice shook. "I can't get up. My leg won't work right." Malik looked at her leg. It was twisted at a strange angle. Not like it was broken from the fall. More like it had been wrong for a very long time. "Let me help you," Malik said. He put his arm under her shoulders. The woman cried out in pain. "Wait. Please be careful. My leg has been bad for 23 years. Ever since the accident." Malik froze. What accident? The old woman closed her eyes. Rain ran down her wrinkled face like tears. "A car hit me, right here on 5th Street. I was crossing to get to the pharmacy. The light was green. I was in the crosswalk." Her hands shook as she spoke. The car came so fast. Too fast. It was raining that night, too, just like now. I remember the headlights. So bright. Then the pain. So much pain. Malik felt his throat get tight. What happened to the driver? The woman's lips trembled. He drove away. Never stopped. Never looked back. Never said sorry. The police tried to find him. They had witnesses. They arrested someone. But I don't know if it was really the right person. Everything happened so fast. She gripped Malik's hand with surprising strength. "My leg never healed right. The doctor said I needed surgery, but it was too expensive. Now I'm old and alone. I fall down and nobody stops. Nobody cares if I live or die on this sidewalk." "I care," Malik said. The words came out fierce, stronger than he expected. "I'm not leaving you here." The woman looked at him with those watery blue eyes. "Why? You don't know me. I'm just a broken old woman. I'm nobody." "You're not nobody," Malik said. "You're a person, and people shouldn't be left in the rain." He thought about his own grandmother. She had died 2 years ago. He remembered her soft hands and the way she smelled like vanilla. He remembered how she could barely walk at the end, and how Malik would hold her arm and help her to the bathroom, to the kitchen, to her chair by the window. If his grandmother had fallen on a sidewalk, he hoped someone would stop. Someone like him. "Can you stand at all?" Malik asked. The woman tried. She pushed with her hands, but her bad leg crumpled. She cried out and fell back down. Malik made a decision. "I'm going to carry you," he said. What? No, you're just a boy. I'm too heavy. You'll hurt yourself. I'm stronger than I look, Malik said. I carry boxes all day. You probably weigh less than a box of canned goods. He helped the woman sit up, then carefully turned his back to her. Put your arms around my neck. Hold on tight. The woman hesitated. Then slowly, shakily, she wrapped her thin arms around Malik's shoulders. Malik hooked his arms under her knees and stood up. She wasn't heavy. She was light, too light, like a bird made of old bones and paper skin. Where's the nearest hospital? Malik asked. St. Mary's, the woman whispered into his ear. But that's 6 blocks away. You can't carry me that far. Watch me, Malik said. He started walking. The rain came down harder. It hit his face, his neck, his back. His arms already ached from the long day at work. His legs felt wobbly, but he kept walking. One step, then another, then another. People stared now. Some looked concerned. Most looked uncomfortable and looked away quickly. Nobody offered to help. What's your name? The woman asked quietly. Malik Turner. I'm Eleanor, she said. Eleanor Price. Thank you, Malik Turner. Thank you for seeing me. Malik felt something warm spread through his chest despite the cold rain. It felt good to help someone. It felt right. I got you, Miss Eleanor, he said. I won't let you fall. He didn't know it yet, but those words would change everything. Behind them, 6 blocks away, a black car with tinted windows started its engine. Inside, a man in an expensive suit picked up his phone with shaking hands. Someone had just sent him a photo of his mother on the back of a teenage boy, and that man's heart filled with fear and fury and old, buried guilt. The storm was about to get much worse. Malik's arms burned like fire. Every step felt harder than the last. His wet shoes slipped on the sidewalk. Rain poured into his eyes. But he kept walking with Eleanor on his back. You can put me down, Eleanor whispered. Her voice was weak. Please, you're going to hurt yourself. Not happening, Malik said through gritted teeth. We're halfway there. They passed a coffee shop. Warm light glowed through the windows. People sat inside with their hot drinks and dry clothes. They looked out at the rain like they were watching a movie. One man saw Malik carrying Eleanor. He pointed, said something to his friend. They both stared, but nobody came outside to help. Malik felt anger bubble up in his stomach. How could people just watch? How could they see someone struggling and do nothing? Why doesn't anyone help? Eleanor asked as if she could read his mind. I don't know, Malik said. Maybe they think someone else will do it. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they just don't want to get involved. Or maybe, Eleanor said softly, they don't see me as worth helping. I'm old. I'm poor. My clothes are worn out. I'm not important. That's not true, Malik said fiercely. Every person is important. My mom taught me that. Eleanor was quiet for a moment. Your mother raised you right, Malik Turner. They reached 3rd Street. 3 more blocks to go. Malik's legs shook. His back screamed with pain. The backpack full of his work clothes felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Eleanor felt heavier now, too, even though she was still as light as before. He wanted to stop. He wanted to rest. But he had made a promise. I won't let you fall. Tell me about your mother, Eleanor said. Malik thought she was trying to distract him from the pain. She works 2 jobs, Malik said between breaths. Cleans offices at night. Works at a sandwich shop during the day. She's always tired, but she never complains. And your father? Malik's jaw tightened. I don't want to talk about him. I'm sorry, Eleanor said quickly. I didn't mean to pry. They walked in silence for a while. The only sounds were the rain, the distant traffic, and Malik's heavy breathing. Then Eleanor spoke again. My son doesn't visit me anymore. Malik felt her grip tighten around his neck. I haven't seen him in almost 3 years. He's very successful, very rich, very busy. Too busy for his old mother, I suppose. That's messed up, Malik said. Families should stick together. Life is complicated, Eleanor said. Sometimes people drift apart. Sometimes they run away from things that hurt too much to face. Malik didn't understand what she meant, but he could hear the sadness in her voice. It made his chest ache. They turned onto 2nd Street. 2 more blocks. A group of teenagers stood under an awning, trying to stay dry. One of them, a tall boy in a basketball jersey, stepped forward. "Yo, you need help, man," he called out. Hope jumped in Malik's chest. "Yeah, can you?" But the boy's friends pulled him back. "Don't get involved, Marcus," one of them hissed. "What if it's some kind of scam?" "It's not a scam," Malik shouted. She fell. She needs a hospital. The teenagers looked uncomfortable. They whispered to each other. Then they turned away and walked in the opposite direction. Malik felt something break inside him, not his body. Something deeper. "It's okay," Eleanor whispered. "You're enough. You alone are enough." Malik blinked hard. His eyes stung, and it wasn't just from the rain. 1 more block. His vision blurred. His muscles screamed. His lungs burned. But he could see the hospital now. St. Mary's Medical Center. White walls. Bright lights. Safety. "Almost there, Miss Eleanor," he panted. "Almost." Tires screeched behind them. Malik spun around. A huge black car stopped in the middle of the street. Rain bounced off its shiny hood. The windows were so dark Malik couldn't see inside. Then the driver's door flew open. A man jumped out. He was tall and broad-shouldered. His suit probably cost more than everything Malik owned. His shoes were polished and perfect. His face was red with anger. "Get away from her," the man shouted. He ran toward them. "Get your hands off my mother." Malik's heart hammered. "What?" "I'm just trying to." "I said get away." The man grabbed Eleanor and tried to pull her off Malik's back. Eleanor cried out in pain. "Stop. Robert, stop. You're hurting me." "Mom." The man's voice cracked. "Mom, what is he doing to you? Did he hurt you? Did he take your purse?" "No." Eleanor shouted. "He's helping me. I fell, and he's taking me to the hospital." But the man, Robert, wasn't listening. He looked at Malik with wild, frightened eyes. "I know what I see," Robert said. His voice shook. "I see a kid carrying my mother against her will. I see kidnapping. I see robbery. I'm calling the police." He pulled out his phone. "Wait," Malik said. Panic rose in his throat. "I didn't do anything wrong. Ask her. Just ask her." A small crowd started to gather. People coming out of shops, getting out of cars. Everyone had their phones out. Everyone was recording. Malik felt trapped, exposed, scared. This was exactly what his mother had warned him about. "Be careful out there, baby. People will see what they want to see. They'll think the worst of you before they think the best." "Robert, listen to me," Eleanor said. Her voice was stronger now, firmer. "This young man is a hero. I fell on the sidewalk, and dozens of people walked past me. Dozens. They stepped over me like I was garbage. But Malik stopped. He helped me. He carried me 6 blocks in the rain." Robert's hand shook. The phone trembled in his grip. But I got a message. Someone sent me a photo of you on this kid's back. They said it looked wrong. They said I should check on you." "Who sent you that message?" Malik asked. His voice came out harder than he meant it to. Robert didn't answer. He just stared at Eleanor, really seeing her for the first time. Her soaking wet clothes, her twisted leg, her exhausted, tear-stained face. "Mom," he whispered, "your leg. You're hurt." "I've been hurt for 23 years, Robert," Eleanor said quietly. "You would know that if you ever came to visit." The words hit like a punch. Robert's face crumpled. I didn't know you'd fallen. I didn't know you were out in the storm. I didn't know." "You didn't know a lot of things," Eleanor said. But this young man knew exactly what to do. He knew what was right. Robert looked at Malik. Really looked at him this time. Malik stood there in his wet grocery store uniform. Water dripped from his hood. His arms still ached from carrying Eleanor. His legs still shook. But he stood tall. "What's your last name, son?" Robert asked. Something strange flickered in his eyes. Something almost like fear. "Turner," Malik said. "Malik Turner." The color drained from Robert's face. Turner, he repeated, his voice barely a whisper. Your father? Is your father James Turner? Malik's whole body went cold. How did this stranger know his father's name? How do you know my dad? Malik asked. Robert stumbled backward. His expensive shoes splashed in a puddle. His hand shook so badly he dropped his phone. It clattered on the wet pavement. Oh, God, Robert said. Oh, God, no, not like this. Not now. Eleanor looked between them. Confusion filled her face. Robert, what's wrong? What's happening? Robert pressed his hands to his face. His shoulders shook. When he finally looked up, his eyes were full of tears. I know your father, Robert said to Malik. I testified against him in court. The world seemed to stop. The rain kept falling, but Malik couldn't feel it anymore. What? The word came out broken. 7 years ago, Robert continued. His voice cracked. There was a trial, a hit-and-run case. I was a witness. I testified. I said your father was a driver. Eleanor gasped. Her hands flew to her mouth. That was my accident. The car that hit me. They arrested someone. They said it was solved. It wasn't solved, Robert whispered. It was a lie. Malik felt the ground till under his feet. His father, 7 years in prison. 7 years of his mother crying at night. 7 years of kids at school asking where his dad was. 7 years of being called the son of a drunk driver. And this man, this rich man standing in front of him, had put him there. You, Malik said. The word came out like poison. You're the reason my dad went to jail. Malik's hands curled into fists. 7 years. His father had been in prison for 7 years because of a lie. 7 years of his mother working herself to exhaustion. 7 years of Malik growing up without a dad. 7 years of shame and whispers and people crossing the street when they saw them coming. All because of this man standing in front of him. Why? Malik's voice shook with rage. Why did you lie about my father? Robert's face was white as paper. I was scared. I was young, only 19. My father told me what to say. Your father told you to lie? Eleanor's voice cut like a knife. She was still on Malik's back, but now she felt like a judge sitting on a throne of truth. Robert couldn't look at his mother. The real driver was Dad. He'd been drinking at a business dinner. He ran a red light and hit you, Mom. I was in the passenger seat. I saw everything. Eleanor made a sound like all the air had been sucked from her lungs. Your father, she whispered. David hit me with his car. Yes. Robert's tears mixed with the rain. He panicked. He said his career would be ruined. He said we'd lose everything. He drove home and paid someone to clean the car. Then he called his lawyer. Malik felt sick. His stomach twisted into knots. What about my dad? He demanded. Why did you blame him? Robert's shoulders shook. There was another witness. An old man named Mr. Chun. He saw a car run the red light, but it was dark and raining. He couldn't see clearly. He saw a dark-skinned driver. The words hit like stones. My father's lawyers found out about James Turner, Robert continued. He lived nearby. He had a car the same color as Dad's. And he was black, Malik finished. His voice was hollow. My dad was black, so you blamed him. The lawyers coached me, Robert said. They told me what to say. They said if I testified that I saw James Turner's face that night, the case would be closed. They said Mr. Chin would back up my story. They said your father probably wouldn't even go to trial because the evidence was so strong. But he did go to trial, Malik said, and he went to prison for something he didn't do. Eleanor was crying now. Big, choking sobs. Robert, how could you? How could you let an innocent man suffer? I was 19. Robert shouted. I was a kid. My father said if I didn't do it, he'd cut me off. No college, no money, no future. I was weak and scared and stupid, and I've regretted it every single day since. Regret doesn't give me back 7 years with my father, Malik said. His voice was ice. Regret doesn't fix what you broke. The crowd around them had grown. 20 people, 30, all recording, all watching this moment unfold. Someone in the crowd spoke up. Is this true? Did this man lie in court? Oh my God, someone else said. I remember that case. It was all over the news. Robert looked around wildly. The phones, the cameras, the witnesses to his confession. For a moment, Malik thought he might run, might jump at his fancy car, and disappear like his father had disappeared from that crosswalk 23 years ago. But Eleanor reached down from Malik's back and grabbed her son's hand. Look at me, she commanded. Robert looked up at his mother, the woman he'd abandoned, the woman his father had crippled and left broken on a rainy street. You have a choice right now, Eleanor said. Her voice was steady despite her tears. You can run away like you've been running for years. Or you can finally do the right thing. Mom, This boy, Eleanor interrupted, squeezing Malik's shoulder with her free hand, carried me 6 blocks in the rain. He didn't know me. He didn't know I was connected to his pain. He just saw someone who needed help, and he helped. That's called integrity, Robert. That's called being a good human being. She looked at Malik now. This young man has shown more character in 1 hour than you've shown in years. He saved me. Now you need to save him. Save his family. Save the truth. The crowd murmured in agreement. Robert's face twisted with emotion. Pain, shame, fear, and something else. Something that looked almost like relief. What do you want from me? He asked Malik. What can I possibly do to make this right? Malik's mind raced. What did he want? Money? An apology? No, he wanted something bigger. I want you to tell the truth, Malik said. His voice rang out clear and strong. I want you to go to the police and tell them what really happened. I want my father's name cleared. I want the record to show he was innocent. They'll arrest me, Robert said. His voice was small. I'll go to prison for perjury, for helping cover up a crime. Good, Malik said without hesitation. You should. Eleanor squeezed Robert's hand tighter. If you do this, I'll visit you. Every week. Like you should have visited me. Robert's legs seemed to give out. He sank to his knees on the wet sidewalk. Right there in the puddles. Right there, with everyone watching. I'm sorry, he sobbed. Malik, I'm so sorry. I've been a coward. I've been living with this guilt eating me alive. Every time I try to call you, to find you, to fix it, I convinced myself it was too late, that the damage was done. It's not too late for the truth, Eleanor said. The truth is never too late. Malik looked down at this grown man, cry on the ground, this rich man in his expensive suit, this man who had destroyed his family. And Malik felt something strange, not quite forgiveness, but maybe the beginning of understanding. My dad is out of prison now, Malik said quietly. He got released 2 months ago, but he can't get a job. Nobody will hire him. He has a record. People think he's a drunk driver who crippled an old lady. I'll fix it, Robert said, looking up. His face was desperate. I'll hire the best lawyers. I'll testify. I'll tell everyone the truth. I'll make sure your father's record is cleared. I'll do whatever it takes. And your father? Malik asked. The real driver? Robert's jaw clenched. He's still alive, still rich, still living in his mansion, pretending he's a good man. But not anymore. I'll make sure he faces justice too, even if it's 23 years late. Eleanor nodded slowly. For once in your life, be brave, Robert. Be the man I raised you to be, not the man your father made you. A woman in the crowd stepped forward. She was young, maybe a college student. I filmed this whole thing, she said, holding up her phone. This confession, everything. I'll send it to every news station in the city. Me too, said someone else. And me, said another. Soon dozens of voices joined in. The truth was out now, floating on the rain, captured on phones. Impossible to bury. Robert stood up slowly. He pulled out his wallet and handed Malik a business card with shaking hands. This is my lawyer's number. Call him tomorrow. I'll tell him everything tonight. We'll start the process to clear your father's name. Malik took the card. It was wet and smudged, but he held it like it was made of gold. "One more thing," Malik said. "Your mom needs to get to the hospital. Her leg is hurt, and you're going to come with us. You're going to sit by her side. You're going to start being a son again." Robert looked at Eleanor, really looked at her, for the first time in 3 years. "I'd like that," Eleanor said softly. "Very much." Robert nodded. He went to his car and opened the back door. "Let me drive you both." "Please." Malik carefully helped Eleanor off his back and into the car. His arms felt like rubber. His legs almost gave out, but he'd kept his promise. He hadn't let her fall. Robert drove slowly to the hospital. In the back seat, Eleanor held Malik's hand on one side and Robert's hand on the other. "You know something?" Eleanor said. 23 years ago, I lost the use of my leg. I lost my independence. I lost my faith in justice. But tonight, in the rain, I found it again, not because someone caught the bad guy, but because a young man showed me that goodness still exists in this world." Malik felt his throat get tight. He was so tired, so emotionally exhausted, but also lighter somehow. "My mom always says that kindness is a choice," Malik said. "Every single day, we choose to help or we choose to walk away. I chose to help. And that choice changed everything," Eleanor said. "For me, for my son, for your father, one act of kindness became an earthquake." At the hospital, Robert helped his mother inside. Doctors and nurses rushed to help her. They took her to X-ray. They promised to fix her leg as best they could after all these years. Before they wheeled her away, Eleanor called Malik over. She took his face in her wrinkled hands. "Thank you for seeing me when I was invisible," she whispered. "Thank you for carrying me when I couldn't walk. Thank you for being exactly who you are." Malik felt tears sting his eyes. "You're welcome, Miss Eleanor." Robert stood next to Malik as they watched Eleanor disappear down the hallway. The two of them stood in awkward silence for a moment. "I meant what I said." Robert finally spoke. "I'll fix this, whatever it takes." "You better," Malik said. "Not mean, just honest." "I will." Robert pulled out his phone. "I'm calling my lawyer right now, and then I'm calling the police. No more running. No more lies." Malik nodded. He turned to leave. "Malik," he stopped and looked back. "You're a better man at 16 than I've ever been," Robert said. His voice cracked. "Thank you for not letting me run away again." 2 weeks later, Malik's phone rang. It was his father, Malik. His dad's voice shook with emotion. "Son, you're not going to believe this. The DA's office just called. They're reopening my case." Robert Price came forward. He confessed everything. He's testifying. "My lawyer says I'll be exonerated. My record will be cleared." Malik closed his eyes. Tears ran down his cheeks. "I know, Dad," he said. "I was there when it started." That night, the story went viral. Videos of the confrontation in the rain spread across social media. Millions of views, thousands of comments. People called Malik a hero, but he didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a kid who had seen someone who needed help and decided not to walk away. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change the world. Sometimes, carrying someone to the rain leads to justice. Sometimes, one moment of kindness can heal wounds that are decades old. And sometimes, the right thing to do is also the hardest thing to do. But it's always worth it. Always, if this story touched your heart. Think about the last time you saw someone who needed help. Did you stop? Did you walk past? Malik Turner was just a tired teenager trying to get home. But he chose to see Eleanor. He chose to carry her. He chose kindness when everyone else chose convenience. And that one choice unraveled decades of lies and brought justice to an innocent man. Real change starts with real people making real choices. This story shows us that kindness is never wasted. Even when it's hard, the truth matters. No matter how long it's been buried, justice can come from the most unexpected places. One person's courage can inspire others to be brave. Accountability and redemption are possible when we face our mistakes. What will you choose the next time you see someone in need? If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you think differently. Like this video to help others find this message. Comment below with your thoughts. Have you ever helped a stranger? Has someone's kindness changed your life? Subscribe to join our community of people who believe in the power of compassion, truth, and justice. Share this story with someone who needs to remember that good people still exist, that kindness still matters, that the truth still is power. Together, we can create a world where nobody walks past someone who's fallen. Together, we can choose to be like Malik, brave, kind, and unshakable in doing what's right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being part of the change.